I've never told anyone this. Not my wife, not my therapist, not even my brother, who knew part of what happened. If I do tell this now, it's because it's been long enough and I can't carry it anymore. What happened that night at the lake, something changed in me after that. Something stayed with me. This was back in 2009. I had just turned 19 and was home from college for fall break. I grew up in a small town in West Virginia. Dense woods, empty roads, and the kind of silence that rings in your ears at night. One of those towns where legends outlive the people. There was this lake about 10 miles out, Weller Lake. It was man-made, small, murky, fed by a network of underground springs. Locals said it used to be part of a coal mining operation, and the town had just let it flood out decades ago. It didn't get a lot of traffic. No boats, no lifeguards, no signs. Just a rotting dock and a few rusted fishing shacks on the south shore. There was also a story. Back in the 70s, a boy named Mason Griggs supposedly drowned there. He was 12. The official story was that he fell off the dock while fishing alone. But for years after, people would swear they saw him, standing ankle deep in the water, sitting on the end of the dock at sunset, always silent, always soaking wet. There was this rhyme kids used to whisper in school. Don't talk back and don't make fun. The lake boy comes for everyone. Stupid, right? That's what I thought too. Anyway, that fall, my best friend Logan came back into town too. We'd grown up like brothers, fishing, getting into trouble, pulling dumb pranks on neighbors. He'd always had a reckless streak. I think that's part of why we ended up going to Weller Lake that night. It was his idea. Let's do some night fishing, he said, like old times. We packed a cooler, a couple of flashlights, and an old rod I found in the shed. It was already getting cold, October air turning crisp, the kind of cold that creeps into your sleeves and sits on your spine. We got there around 11:30. The lake looked different than I remembered. More empty, still like the whole thing had been paused. The moon barely showed through thick cloud cover, and fog clung to the water in thin layers. The dock creaked under our weight, and something about that sound already had my nerves up. Logan cracked open a beer and sat at the edge, legs dangling off. I stood further back, suddenly unsure why we were there. We fished in silence for about 20 minutes, no bites. The lake was dead, just black water and that dense silence. And then Logan said, "Hey, remember the lake kid?" I smiled. "The one who drowned?" He nodded. "Mason. Dude, I used to be so scared of him. My brother told me if you say his name 3 times, he shows up and pulls you in." I chuckled. "You gonna try it?" He grinned at me with that look, the one he always had before doing something dumb. And then in a mock dramatic tone, he leaned over the water and said, "Mason Griggs, Mason Griggs, Mason Griggs." The words echoed a little too clearly, like the lake had repeated them back. "Logan, don't," I said, not really joking, but he was already laughing. "What, you scared?" "No," I lied, but I was. Not because I believed in ghost stories, but because something felt wrong. The way the fog shifted, the way the trees on the far shore seemed a little too still. It was like the entire lake had leaned in to listen. That's when I noticed the reflection. The moon had come out just a bit, casting silver on the water. Enough to see my reflection and someone standing next to me, but I was alone. I whipped around, nothing. I scanned the woods, nothing moved, just the low rustle of leaves. When Logan came back, I told him we should go. He shrugged. "Fine if you're cold." But then, just as we were packing up, we heard it, a splash. Not a fish, not a frog, it was heavy, human. We both turned to the water, flashlights scanning, nothing. Then Logan pointed. "There, you see that?" I followed his beam. Just past the reeds, maybe 20 feet out, was a shape, a person, standing in the water up to their chest, face barely visible. We didn't move, didn't speak. The figure stared at us. Then slowly, too slowly, it sank, straight down, like it was being pulled. Logan started yelling, Hey, are you okay?" But I grabbed his arm. "No, we're leaving, now." He tried to argue, but something in my voice must have gotten through. We hurried back to the car, the air around us ice cold, unnaturally so. As we drove, neither of us said a word. My skin itched, my ears rang. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept seeing that figure, the way it didn't struggle, the way it just went under. The next morning I called Logan, no answer. I called again around noon, then again at 3 p.m. By evening, I was driving to his parents' house. His car wasn't in the driveway. His mom looked confused when she opened the door. "He left last night to hang with you," she said. "Didn't come back?" I lied. I said he probably crashed at a buddy's. I didn't sleep that night either. Next morning, I found his car. It was parked half a mile from the lake entrance in a pull-off spot, empty. I hiked down to the dock. Nothing was out of place except one thing. On the planks, near where we'd sat, was a small puddle of water. perfectly round. No trail, no footsteps, just a single puddle. And on the post by the edge of the dock, where Logan had tied his hoodie, was a piece of it, torn off, just hanging there, wet. That night, I heard something outside my window, a dragging sound, wet feet on pavement. I didn't look. The next morning on my porch was Logan's hoodie, folded, soaked through, smelling like lake water and rot. I left 2 days later, transferred to another school, never went back for the holidays. They never found his body. Police called it a voluntary disappearance. Said maybe he got into trouble, owed someone money. His mom doesn't believe that. I don't either. But I never told her what we did, what we saw. I tried to tell myself it was grief, guilt, hallucination. But last year I saw something on a local Facebook page. Someone posted a picture of Weller Lake, fog rolling across the water, and standing at the edge of the dock, just barely visible, was a boy, soaked, still, staring, and next to him, another figure, taller, wearing a hoodie.